So I want to share a reflection with you, and it's all about asking yourself the question: how much does it really cost to make an investment inside of your business? Because one of the things I've really been noticing with a lot of the clients I've been working with recently is that as we start to make money inside of our business, what happens is we start to normalize making money, we start to normalize spending money, and it becomes so easy to kind of begin to expand our needs, expand our life, expand how much we need to spend money on things. And so we kind of need more and more and more money to fulfill the commitments that we expand our life into. And we do all of that with kind of really thinking about why, or do we really want it, and what does it really mean? And it becomes so easy to start to spend £200, £500, £1,000 without even thinking about it, without thinking, is it really that important? It's just kind of like that more money starts to feel a bit more like small change. And whilst that's all going on, at the same time, there's a frustration that we're earning more money and that you're earning this more money and you're recognizing that you're making progress with your sales, but you're incredibly frustrated that there still just doesn't seem to be any left over at the end of each and every month. And yes, I recognize that for you, part of feeling financially free is this sense of not feeling like you have to choose, like being able to buy and pay for and do whatever it is you want when you want it. So that is kind of a sense of that's what financial freedom means to you. And so restricting that is kind of counterintuitive and goes against feeling financially free. But you still want things to be smooth and predictable. So what I'd like to suggest here is like a recognition that money is really, it's a resource. Money is really energy inside of your business, and money gives you the ability to expand your business and your life and your sense of freedom from that perspective, from being a resource. And I'm not talking about in this context money in terms of making decisions around how to manage your cash flow or thinking about long-term projections. Will you have enough money in the future? I'm really thinking about kind of the decision and the intention behind making that decision to invest, and how much it cost, how much money did you have to earn in order to make that payment for that investment. So I really want to invite you to really think about an example around if you were to invest £1,000 in a project right now, how much would you have had to earn? How many sales would you have had to make in order to pay for that? Because it drives me insane, absolutely drives me insane, when people tell me that to make a £1,000 investment, you just need to make 2 sales to 2 customers for like 500. And yeah, okay, it seems to make sense. 2 times 500 is 1,000. Makes sense, it should add up. However, it completely neglects the fact that inside your business, you have business expenses, you want to pay yourself, and you have taxes to pay. And so the way to really start to think about how much does an investment truly cost, how much do you truly need to earn and sales you need to make in order to pay for that investment, is to use a particular percentage. So that's your profit margin. So really knowing what your profit margin is inside your business is really, really pivotal to this, and so super valuable. So most businesses operate anywhere between 15 to 65% profit margin. It really depends on the type of business you run, how big a team you have, whether you have kind of offices and locations, or whether you're very remote and work more for yourself. Really depends, wide range. So knowing your profit margin is really, really valuable here. And so, for example, if you're somebody who has a profit margin of 20%, so after all of your sales, after all your costs, paid yourself, paid your taxes, there's 20% left over. What that means is if you make a £1,000 investment or $1,000 investment, either, it works exactly the same. If you make that 1,000 investment, what it really means is if your profit margin is 20%, you actually need sales of 5,000 in order to pay that 1,000 out. So everything inside of your business, if your profit margin is at 20%, is actually 5 times more expensive. So for example, if you're considering going to like an event or a conference and you have to buy a ticket for like 200 quid, it's actually costing you £1,000 of sales to pay £200. And you can see from that example that often we can feel like, oh, it's only £200. It's not really very much. I don't really need to think about it. It's only £200. But £1,000 is quite a bit more significant. And it really makes that shift. It really makes you start to think about, this isn't just a £200 investment of cash. This is actually £1,000 worth of sales that I need to make and I need to bring in order to pay for that. So it's quite an interesting shift of perspective there. And it really, really helps you to connect how much you're spending with how much you're actually earning. And it helps you to really begin to focus on what's a really important place to spend your money, to focus on spending it wisely, and to think a bit more long term about your decisions around spending money, as opposed to just spending in the short term. So it can really help you to start to realize, I need to make this many sales in order to pay for this small, what seems like a small investment, when actually it's a much bigger, it costs me a lot more. It costs me the value of the sales rather than it costs me the value that I actually pay over to the supplier or whoever I'm paying for this. So that is the reflection I wanted to share. Really digging into what is the true cost of the investment you're making inside your business. So key things to know: what is your profit margin? And then work out the kind of multiple inside of your business. So if your profit margin is 20%, everything is actually 5 times more expensive. So I invite you to kind of explore, what does that look inside of your business.